everyone, and welcome. I am Maria Martinez. Welcome to Happy, Healthy, and Successful. In this summit, we're bringing together powerful influencers, way showers, teachers, mentors from all over the world to share with you teachings, ideas, processes to help you support you moving forward in your next, whatever's next for you, to inspire you to take action and create your most ideal life. And today with us, we have Garin Dem. Garin is a mindset coach. She works with entrepreneurs to monetize their passion. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Garin, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. So I was working in corporate. So I'm a former corporate ladder chasing current entrepreneur that believes mindset is the key to creating success in business.
I am sure everyone would like to know how you got here. We take different paths in our lives, and sometimes that takes us further away from our passion. Sometimes it takes us closer to our passion. And when we hit that wall and we feel stuck, we're looking for ways to take that next step. Tell us a little bit about your pivot point.
Yes, absolutely. So as I mentioned, I was in corporate trying to get that career going, and I was just pigeonholed. They only wanted me to do certain things. I had to get permission about everything. I had to be somewhere at a certain time. I had to ask permission for vacation. I had to do all of these things. And there was guilt if I was like 1 minute late because of traffic or whatever it may be. So that is when I realized that I can offer more, even though my superiors didn't want me necessarily to, but I knew that I was able to help people and offer more. And I was doing a lot within training and development. So I knew that is the path that I wanted to take. And I love helping people. And I love talking about mindset and how people can learn and grow every day. But the corporate world wasn't doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I did pivot in that way, where I had to start my own world and I had to start my own business in order for me to create that love to go to work every single day and love helping other people, and for me to be authentically myself.
A mindset is a state of being, state of consciousness. Mm-hmm. So we have a mindset of joy and happiness, resilience. We have a mindset of positivity and probability, and just feeling into new possibilities and potentiality. We also have a mindset of consciousness and a mindset of business. Yes. Tell us a little bit about what, in your eyes, what is that differentiation for you?
Well, yes, like you said, mindset can be many things, but I believe when you are an entrepreneur and starting your own business, or you're in the world of business already and you have established your business already, there is that business mindset. And it is more about abundance and understanding that there is room for you in the world and room for you to bring your unique genius to people out there. And that it isn't saturated, as people might say. And with your own authenticity and your own integrity, you can bring whatever it is out into these platforms, and people will relate to you and come to you and buy from you. So that is that mindset that I keep talking about, that yes, it is a state of being and that positivity and all of that stuff, but it also that abundance and understanding that you got something to bring. You have something that you can bring to the table.
Yeah. Sorry. No. What I'm hearing about that, I'm hearing your value, right? You recognize your value. You recognize the gift that your value is to the world, and you lean into that.
Right.
And when you lean into that, then it doesn't matter how many people are out there, because there's really no competition. There is room for everyone, because we're also divinely unique and we have something to share with the world.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Beautiful. If somebody's ready or interested in starting their business to embark on that entrepreneurial journey, what are some of the things that you suggest, or some of the things that you would advise them to do?
100%. So it is this mindset is, I think, the number one, the key to all of it. And like you said, to understand your value, to know what you're bringing to the table for you to be authentically you.
Mhm.
And don't look at everybody as competition. See what they are doing, see what you can emulate in your own style, in your own thing, and bring yourself out there. And yes, there will be fear. Yes, there will be some sort of feeling, because we're all human, and, imposter syndrome or fear of all of that. But understanding that abundance is there
Mhm.
and it is for everybody, it can be done and you can be successful. And then the secondary part is then to take action and to take research and to be like, how do I actually start a business of where I'm from? Like, does my country or my state or my province, does it require certain things? And,
Mhm.
you have to do the research and take action behind it, because everybody is different and every business is different. But ultimately, it does start with you and your confidence to bring it out there, because people want your stuff. They absolutely do.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, that there's an audience for everyone.
Mhm.
We have these divine contracts with the people that we're mentoring, the people that we're coaching. And when we step out, it's like an awakening for them. They're ready.
Yeah.
The teacher and the student come together.
Yes.
And what I wanted to add about mindset is that really is about 80%, right? It's the 80%, the 20/80 rule. 80% is mindset and the 20% is the action. So if you are internally aligned, if your mindset, if you have a powerful mindset, if you're learning to master your thought and release, delete what is not in alignment, it's easier for you to embody that confidence. It's easy for
Right.
you to embody your passion and to take one step at a time and continue to take that one step at a time, because you're more congruent. You're not really allowing the thoughts and other programs to get in the way of you
Right.
being of service and contribution to the world.
Right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Tell us a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur. What were some of the challenges, some of the lessons that you learned along the way?
Oh, yeah, definitely. When I started my business, because I was doing training and development, and then I turned into business consulting and mindset and all of that, it was fairly an easy transition because I kind of knew people and it was word of mouth a little bit. So it was okay. But the challenges were, it was right when, um, 2020 happened, and we won't say that word, but that 2020 happened and the world changed, and it was right around then. And so there was difficulty there because everybody was in the unknowns a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So I had a lot of difficulty there, but I also had difficulty where I didn't have entrepreneurs around me. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know that I had to register my business, or I had a separate bank account needed, or I needed this, or I needed that
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that I have a successful business. I was just out there going, hey, guess what? I can help you. But instead of me really focusing in and treating my business like a business and treating it like this is income coming in and this is something that I can sustain and bring wealth and possibly bring generational wealth and all of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me because I was never taught and I couldn't find somewhere where I can learn just the basics
Mm-hmm.
and know what I could do from there.
Mm-hmm. So the structure, creating the structure, laying the foundation is important.
Right.
Is important so that your business also has its own sort of 2 feet to stand on, right? So it's grounded and it has its own energy and it has what it needs to move forward.
Right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. And then the only other thing that I think was my biggest challenge is being authentically myself. So a lot of gurus would have said you need a high ticket thing and you need group coaching and you need this and you need that, but it wasn't aligned with me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started, I listened to, well, this is what it is. And this is the only way to be in this space for me to be successful. But because I wasn't authentically me, I wasn't successful
Mm-hmm.
because it didn't align with me and I wasn't myself, and people could they couldn't relate to me because they saw that I wasn't myself.
Mm-hmm.
Even through social media, they figured out, that wasn't really what Garin's all about. So when I finally realized what I personally wanted to do and how I wanted to be in this space and what I wanted to bring to the table, then that is when the success came, because I was just authentically me and I love doing how I do it every day.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very powerful message for everyone, because we do, like when we step out, we're looking to how to do it, what's the best way to do it, what are others doing? And sometimes we do get caught up on what others are telling us or how others are sharing it or sharing their strategies and how we should implement them. But the key is to always check in with you, like you were saying, check in with you and feel like, is this an alignment? Because I've, worked with clients where they working with one-on-one and then they don't have a lot of time for themselves because their whole time is filled with one-on-one and then they're capped at a certain income. And I've also had the opposite where they're working with large groups, but it's very exhausting because they're learning to hold the space and be the container for everybody else. And at the end, it's exhausting. So there are some tools around finding that balance. But I think more importantly is to check in with yourself and find out, what do I feel most aligned with? Groups, one-on-ones, hybrid, workshops, so you can check into yourself and begin to define what feels comfortable, how you can fully express yourself, be a contributor to the world, but also be authentic and integrity with who you are. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's
yes, absolutely. And also the understanding of, you can build success in whichever way it is. If you don't want to do one-on-ones, you don't have to. You don't want to do groups, you don't have to. You can have success with whatever it is. If you just want to do digital products and not talk to somebody, you can, and it's all right. Or if you just want to do one-on-ones, like you said, find that balance to where, there might not be any ceilings for you, or for you to have some downtime and rest time and you won't feel burnout and overwhelmed. It is absolutely possible. And I still hear it all the time where gurus are telling me. I just had a couple months ago, somebody turned around to me and said, you'll never be successful if you don't have group coaching. Like, but I don't want group coaching.
Right.
It's not for me. Yeah. And the problem with, this is just me personally, how do you expect somebody who does have a 9-to-5, who does have a family, to be in your group coaching on a Tuesday at 1:00 in the afternoon?
Right.
How? So it's like, how can you serve that person? And that's not the only way you can serve people. That's not the only way that somebody can come into your world. And you have to figure out that balance. If that's what you want to do, and then all the power to you and you're successful, that's great. But if not, then find your thing. So,
absolutely. Yeah. One of the things I like to do and I share with my clients is start with your schedule. Like, what do you want your day to look like? Because you can find in your schedule spots that you can fill either with your clients or with something else. And especially around the things that you love. So if your family is important, if other things are important, and then you create it around that. So you're doing what you love first, and everything else, you find a space there. And it's energetic as well, because when you create a space for, let's say, a one-on-one session or a group coaching, it just begins to fill up because you've already set the intention. You already stepped into that container. So talking about finding that balance and doing what you love and expressing your unique value and being, the best version of you as a contributor. What are some of the habits that somebody can start adopting? The mindset is one of them. Visualization, being who you're meant, who you're becoming. The practice of that, meditation. What are some other habits that you help people adopt or make part of the day to day that helps them create that success?
Oh, absolutely. I would say distractions. And this may sound a little harsh, but these distractions you have to kind of slowly get out of your wheelhouse.
Mhm.
Like scrolling mindlessly or watching mindless TV or, you know what I mean? Like just doing things that don't serve you or don't serve your business,
Mhm.
especially when you're starting a business. This may sound controversial because a lot of people are like, well, you know, watching TV is my downtime. And that's great. I'm not saying give it up forever. But if you
Mhm.
want to have a successful business and you want to see success within your life, there are certain things where you have to give up and say, okay, I'm only going to watch so much TV this week. And the rest of that free time, I'm going to work on my business
Mhm.
and I'm going to take action towards those things. You know, sometimes it's okay to say no to going out,
Mhm.
or no to doing these things because you are creating your empire, as they say, or you are creating something for you, for your family, for the generation, or and all this wealth that you're trying to build. It's not going to be built when you're sitting on the couch and doing nothing about it, right? So
Right.
that I think is the habit. It's the hardest one to break, um, of those distractions because you know we're all so used to it,
Yeah.
uh, to mindlessly do things, but it is
Mhm.
to get rid of those distractions and really, really zone in and work on your business. Even if, like you said, check your schedule. Is there an hour here that you can fit in your calendar to be like, okay, this is the time where I'm going to sit in front of my computer and do the research, work on my business, get new clients, do this or do that.
Yeah, and distractions many times are connected to the fears that we have. So
Hmm.
we're in fear of rejection, fear of getting out there, fear of not being enough. So we want to also notice why we're allowing these distractions to get in the way
Right.
of creating, of building our empire. Some of these distractions are really just information. So we
Hmm.
can look at why am I, 'cause it's a form of self sabotage. So why am I
Yes.
sabotaging myself? Why am I allowing this to be bigger than me or more important than my legacy, the legacy that I'm creating? Me being authentic to the world or
Right.
being of contribution to the world. And when you step back and start looking at it, then you start moving into that new way of looking at the world, which also begins to shift your mindset about
Mhm.
how you go about your day, where you spend your time, how well organized you are. And like you said, it doesn't have to be a drastic change, but
Right.
noticing, okay, I've spent like 3 hours, yeah, or I spend, 5 hours doing nothing. Well, what can you do with that time?
Right.
And instead of distraction, maybe 1 hour you do something else, research
Hmm.
or thinking about your message or thinking about who you want to serve. And little by little, those 5 hours becomes maybe 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and you've
Right.
redirected that time to something that is more productive. So that's very helpful.
Yeah.
Um,
I
the
love
other,
that you say, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to add a little bit to that.
Yes.
In terms of the mindset,
Mhm.
when we develop the powerful mindset, there is an internal healing that happens for that
Mhm.
because we're letting go of all of our old programming. And when we recognize that we're sabotaging ourselves, there's something there, there's a wounding, there's a pain, there's something there that is not
Yes.
allowing us to be, yeah, in the space of integrity or authenticity or receiving or
Hmm.
owning value. So we want to look at all these things from a place
Right.
of enlightenment and observation, because that creates more ease around making better choices. And
Yeah.
then when we make better choices, it aligns us further into what truly makes us happy.
Absolutely. I love that you say to look introspectively. That's the one thing a lot of us don't do, right? We don't want to look introspectively and be like, oh, I didn't do this a certain way that I should have. You know, we don't want to criticize ourselves, and sometimes we are our own worst critics. But when we look introspectively and see what we want and what serves us and all of that, the we will then move the needle one step forward and one step forward towards the success in the entrepreneurial journey. And being 1% better every day
Mm-hmm.
is the goal, to reach that, you know, the top of that mountain. It's one
Yeah.
step at a time. You start by your mindset and looking introspectively and doing that stuff. And it's not just one time.
Mm-hmm.
I personally always have to look introspectively and be like, okay, what am I doing? Especially now, like certain times of year where you're like, okay, I'm going to take a break because it's a certain time of year, or
Mhm.
I have certain things going on, but your business is yours and you're allowed to do what you want to do with your business. If you want to hustle through it or take a break through it, but you got to then reassess and go, okay, what can I do to move that needle forward?
Yeah. Yeah. And we get focused and we create and we push things forward and we allow things to happen. But
Hmm.
we also do want to have that time off, because if
Oh
we
yeah.
don't have that time off, we're not giving to ourselves. So looking at that balance as well as I'm
Hmm.
gonna work, just focus and have that clarity and take that step at a time through this time. And then this is my vacation time, or this is my time off. That also creates a flow in our
Oh
life
yeah.
because it's energetic as well, and it gets grounded into the field. So you're energetically moving forward to that, and that sort of that reward, that time off, or the
Mhm.
time with the family, or the downtime.
Right.
So that adds to that balance.
100%, 100%. And you do it what is the way it works for you. If you
Right.
want a day off, a day off. If you want 4 days off, 4 days off. But your business will only move as forward as you take action.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. So alignment,
yeah.
mindset, and being in that space energetically,
Yes.
and then action. So 80-20 rule. Any other processes that you want to share with us? Anything else that you feel like the audience would really benefit from?
Probably a million things, but it is absolutely I have to reiterate it and be very important that it is your business and you have to go about your business the best way that's for you. Just like as somebody told me saying you'll never be successful without group coaching. And I'm like, but it's not for me.
Mhm,
So, and it's okay for me to be like, that's not what I want to do. And that's not what
mhm,
my business is all about. And you have to figure out what is best for you and move forward from there. And continue to learn and grow every day because that's what we do. The times are changing constantly. So we
mhm,
always have to do research. We always have to learn the latest tips and tricks. And it's okay to do that. And it's okay to take a step back when you need to. This is your business, and you have to figure out what your business means to you and what is aligned with you and what
mhm.
makes you happy. And that will definitely bring you success in many ways.
To add a little bit to that, everything is energy. So what we're
Yes.
doing is energetic. The business itself has energy. So you're creating this beautiful alignment with your business as well. It's like a
Mm.
mutual support system that
Right.
you're in divine partnership with your business. And the more aligned you are with it, the more clear you are about what you want to create, how you want to serve, and the value that you want to bring, the more your business supports you as well. So as you
Right.
take action, it's actually exponentially, because your business is supporting you as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Karen, anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
That is a majority of it. Like for you, the first step is the most important step is for that mindset, that alignment, being true to you, being authentic with you. And that is a lot of things that I share with a lot of my social media and a lot of the stuff that I do with my audience. It is that first step. And to actually learn the business mindset is a lot of the things. It's absolutely important, and being authentic is important, but it's also important to actually learn what you need to do for your business to make that business successful as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. So build your foundation for a successful business. Get yourself ready. So become that successful person. Adopt a powerful mindset. Align with your contribution to the
Yes,
world and be in that abundant state because there's enough for everyone.
absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If the audience wanted to connect with you, how can they find you?
Absolutely. I am big on Instagram. So you can find me on Instagram and all of that. I have a lot of tips and tricks on Instagram, a lot of free stuff for everybody on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is garin.dem, and you can find me there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I look forward to hearing more about you and your success. And it was amazing for the audience to hear some of these tips and action steps, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time,
Yes.
because we're incrementally building that success around us. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for being. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.